Okay, good Friday out there. Got a little bit of the weather, which was good. Might have some weather on Sunday, but division opponent. Excited about the playing a team we know well. Looking forward to the opportunity. With that, I'll take any questions.
Watching practice, and saw Harold out there catching a couple balls right in front of us. So, what happened to Harold today?
Just had something come up, and sometimes injuries happen on a Friday, and you just got to see how it progresses to Sunday.
Do you feel like he might be able to play, or do you have any?
I don't know. Yeah, I think with all players, you let them rehab, and their body will tell you. But he'll do everything he can to be out there.
For Dylan, something popped up today.
Yeah, soreness popped up.
With Dylan Sampson, the nature of his injury, what will be the determining factor if he can go Sunday?
Function, the ability to function with that. He feels good, looked good in practice, but we'll make a determination here as we get to Sunday.
Such a big, huge part of your game plan, and Shedeur obviously loves throwing the ball to him. So, just if he can't go, just what will that mean to you guys?
Yeah, I think with any injuries potential, you always prepare as coaches a game plan where there's different guys that can step up into different roles, and sometimes it's a player at that same position, sometimes it's a player at a different position. You can pivot into different personnel groupings, and that happens in game as well. So you always have to have those contingency plans.
Saw Miles Harden go in, and I think he's on the injury report as well. I know you probably don't know if he's going to be able to play yet on Sunday, but just what would the contingency plan be for that slot cornerback?
Yeah, a bunch of options, guys that we've played with that we trust in there. Obviously, Miles has done a nice job for us all season. If he couldn't make it, feel good about the guys that we have behind him.
Denzel this week.
Yeah, look good. I think he feels good, ready to roll.
I was just saying, with the Steelers having the chance to clinch Saturday night, depending on what happens in that Ravens game, have you guys prepared for if they decide to rest guys?
No.
With the uncertainty around Dylan Gabriel, do you guys have to elevate Bailey either way?
I'd say that's likely, yes.
What about Wyatt again? What's going to determine that? And could, like last week, could it be an option to split series with?
Yeah, I think potentially needed to obviously get through today's practice, see how he's feeling, and make those type of determinations. But feel good about if he's in there. I think he'll be ready to roll, and feel good about Tevin as well.
What makes the Pittsburgh run defense historically so good? And I think again this year they've had some really good numbers.
Yeah, that's I think good scheme. It's one of those things. Their scheme's very different than our scheme, and both defensively, and both work when you coach it really well, when you have the players that fit the scheme. So that's the example of a good scheme, a good two-gapping scheme with players that match that scheme. They obviously have gone up against different run attacks throughout the years, and whether it's zones or more downhill stuff, and I think it's a sound scheme that is really lets their players play to their strengths.
About David Njoku and just having him out again.
Yeah, obviously, that's a guy that has played really good football for us, so we'll see when we can get him back out there.
Any idea if you might?
I don't.
Wyatt being questionable again, do you anticipate, I asked this last week, but do you anticipate a rotation if he can play?
Yes.
Do you put much time or thought into whether or not T.J. Watt will be able to play in this game?
We don't control those type of things. Mary Kay, obviously, he's a great player, and we as competitors, always want to see those type of guys out there. But that's I have a ton of respect for him, but really not our focus.
What about the Steelers passing offense? Since obviously everyone knows they won't have DK Metcalf
Right.
in there, what does it look like without him?
I think they have a lot of guys that can make plays with the football, whether it's running backs out of the backfield, receivers that the quarterback trusts, a bunch of tight ends that they can throw at you that can really can play to all levels of the field. I mean, think about how they utilize their tight ends in different roles. So obviously DK's a great player, and again, we talked about him on Wednesday. I have a ton of respect for what he does, and he played great in the first time we played them, but I think they have a bunch of different options in the pass game.
Is there any player count to Darnell Washington? You coached tight ends for a long time. Like,
Yeah.
he's, like 311 is way bigger than.
Yeah. I'm trying to come up with a good one for you, but he's
He's just played tackle in the pros, right? Like he was.
yeah,
a tight
right.
end.
He was a former tight end. We had the biggest tight end that I've probably been around was Pharaoh Brown. Pharaoh was a great blocker, great hands. But man, this is a very powerful player, and I think the thing that's most impressive is the yak, the ability with the ball in his hand, and he's tough to bring down. He's got good ball skills, and then when he has that ball in his hand, it's just it's you better swarm to the football.
Is heading into your final home game of the season, obviously, how important is it for you guys to want to close it out?
Yeah.
Strong. And
Very important. We love playing in front of our fans. Obviously, got another one next week on the road, but an opportunity in front of our fans. We relish these opportunities.
Going back to that Steelers defense and kind of how unique it is. Like, you don't see this type of front as often. How hard is that for a guy like Luke? Kind of going against him for the first time.
Yeah, I think these different fronts that you go up against, and some are even fronts like ours, and the three technique strong. Sometimes they're nose guards that cover the center. Sometimes they're in a 2-eye on the guard, and then you go up against a zero nose in some of these 3-4 teams. So you can. There are teams where they may show you all of those looks in a given game. So for a center, the ability to play with somebody over you, with somebody on the guard, the ability to work with the guards versus these different fronts is really important. I think it's good for a young player like Luke to have all these opportunities and these reps versus different fronts, and they all pose unique challenges, especially when you start to talk about the size of some of those players.
Sunday, how important is it to help Miles get that sack record?
Yeah, like we've talked about the whole time. I think you guys have talked to Miles throughout this season. Winning is the most important thing to him. That's what he's about. That's what we're about. That's what that's why we're working so hard. Having said that, the individual records and accolades and all those type of things that happen for our players, we want all of those things for our guys. It's the greatest team sport there is, but these individual things highlight the individual, but they also highlight the individual within the framework of the team. So I know what's important to Miles. I know what's important to this football team.
Aaron, obviously one of the fastest to get rid of the football. How do you sort of, how can you kind of go against that? I'm struggling with the right word.
He's the ball comes out at a very fast clip, whether it's RPOs or their quick game. You're not going to fool him. Obviously, a player of his caliber who's seen so much defense. He's a player that you feel at times you're watching tape and he's one step ahead of the defense, just beating them with his mind. But the ability to diagnose and see things and get the ball out, I just think is a representative of his just processing power and how he's able to see things from a defense so quickly.
The other day, that clip where he motions the guy out to the thing and just says, go deep or whatever he tells him. Like, how rare is that? And I'm sure it feels like it used to be something more common, but today's NFL, do you see that a lot where they just kind of do that on the fly?
Yeah, I think something happened in every game. There's always situations, it feels like, where there's the ability of the quarterback to make adjustments for players. Certainly with a player who's seen a lot of defense and been in a lot of those situations, you trust that he's making those the right decisions for those guys.
Miles was talking about, Josh specifically last week was, rolling away from him, going away. Are you noticing more teams? Obviously, they're going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at him in terms of blockers, but are you noticing teams trying to go specifically away, rolling away from him, running away from him?
Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of teams go into it with a plan of one-weighing plays and say, hey, we're not going to run this if he's over there. There have been times that I've been surprised that teams have run certain plays at him, but it may be a situation where play-to-play, not knowing where he's going to be, can factor into that. But certainly teams one-way things to keep him away from him.
Has that increased as the season's gone on, or has that just been from start to now?
Yeah, I think from the beginning of his life, probably.
How much are you able, or have you been able this week to sort of anticipate just what their offense is going to look like without DK? You talked about Darnell being a big part of that, but like that entire tight end group and how they're going to utilize those guys.
Well, I think they just have, Arthur does a great job with that group, and I think they have a lot of options. You lose a great player, of course, that's you're going to need other guys to step up. I think they have other guys that can play different roles for them. I do.